Please hang up and try again.
Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's SpeedFreaks, motorsports radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Oh, man, a lot of news going off in the last 24, 48 hours, including your winner from Bristol Baby, Denny Hamlin, who will be here in the Freak Nation. How you doing, man? Crash Gladys, Statman, Richard C. Suave. I'm Kenny Sargent. And 90-plus affiliates across the country on the Freak Radio Network. And we're welcoming in KTLK in St. Louis. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Yeah. We've been doing this.
I love the peanut gallery.
Like that. I've been doing this for 23 years. And in this 23 years, we've amassed a hell of a radio network. And now, of course, on MAV TV. Stop it, man, would you? There we go.
Happy.
I get it. KTLK in St. Louis, our new St. Louis affiliate.
Hang on.
What's that?
Just in time.
Mm-hmm.
Just in time for us to be in the St. Louis area in just, 2 weeks for NHRA and another playoff race. Yes.
NHRA Midwest Nationals at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to www.raceway.com for ticket information. Hey, man, NASCAR, in a very unique form of racing, not to us, it's headed to Mexico. And we'll explain why I say it's unique and the significance of what NASCAR race is headed to Mexico. We'll get to that. Formula One, there's a lawsuit that's a brewing. Will it come to fruition? I don't know. It may involve taking away a championship of one of the greatest drivers ever in Formula One.
Formula One is such a mess right now.
Right.
I wish this could be Drive to Survive, but I think all the legalities involved of did Lewis Hamilton win his first championship or not? And Bernie Ecclestone going on record, but then not remembering it. I don't think Netflix can use that.
So, Freak Nation, there's so much to talk about. Outside of Denny Hamlin winning the Bristol Baby race, the headline seems to be, frankly, Bubba Wallace, that he moved on to the round of 12. He did everything he had to do to move on to the round of 12. There are other big-time drivers that aren't moving on to the round of 12. Penske driver Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, they're not moving on. But Bubba Wallace, he is moving on, and man, is he relieved.
I'm going to sleep good tomorrow. I'm so glad that we got Sunday off. Catch up on some sleep. I woke up at 3 a.m. wide awake this morning. I don't know. Maybe it was stress, but whatever it was, it all worked out. Yeah, I thought Daytona was stressful. This may have topped it. So just trying to do everything we can, race around the guys that were racing and hold off guys that weren't racing with us, and it just takes a lot, and gotta keep it going.
Things about Bubba Wallace and why it's so intriguing to get this guy going is he's such a divisive person involved in NASCAR. I'm surprised we're not seeing some comments right now, frankly, on our comments on our StreamYard YouTube link, because typically you put Bubba Wallace up there and the pros and the cons will come out for Bubba. But Bubba doing all he had to do to move into the round of 12. What about his owner and Bristol Baby winner, Denny Hamlin, on 23XI and Bubba Wallace?
I still love it, right? I very well could get knocked out next round or next, and then this 18 years in that I'm probably not going to win the most popular driver award. I've come to the conclusion of that. I understand it. They think they bother me, but clearly it's having an opposite effect. So I welcome any fan to want to come.
You think I could get the freaking soundbite right?
0 for 2.
Damn it. Denny Hamlin talking about ownership with 2311. Again, the team that Bubba Wallace drives for.
Yeah, I'm really happy with where that team is progressing to, and really happy for Bubba. I don't think he's the highest he's ever finished is 20-something in points. So he's doing well. He's really working on his craft, and he's doing all the right things, and he's studying the right things, and he's really working with the team well. Him and Tyler are working really well together. And yeah, I'm very happy with the trajectory that whole organization's on. I mean, that's just, not 3 years complete, to have 2 cars now in the round of 12 is very, very humbling. And certainly, our goal going into the year was to have 2 cars in the playoffs, and now to have 2 in the next round, this is just icing on the cake. This is nothing but bonus from here on out.
The key right
Yeah, I'm really happy.
I'm cutting you off for a reason. The key right there, not 3 years into this, and he has 2 drivers in the top 12. That's huge. NASCAR of old, it would have been impossible to do that. 2 drivers in the top 12 in points, moving on to the next round of the NASCAR playoffs, only a 3-year-old team, or not quite even a 3-year-old team. That's huge. Just think about that for a moment. I don't care what your objections are on the new NASCAR or Bubba Wallace himself. What they're doing is large.
It's not lost on me, and I don't know if Stat, you saw this, or Richie or Crash, but watching that interview, that's the post-race interview from Bristol last night with Denny Hamlin won. It's Denny Hamlin, his crew chief, and Denny Hamlin's team owner, Joe Gibbs, sitting next to him. And I'm trying to make a correlation or a comparison to another professional sport. When you're sitting there, Denny Hamlin, who drives for Joe Gibbs, but owns another team that wants to whip Joe Gibbs' ass.
Well, come on, we can just go with Dale Earnhardt Sr. When it was his team, and unfortunately the loss of his life in 2001, it was his team. He was driving against them. He was driving for Richard Childress. He always drove, or mostly drove, for Richard Childress, but he had his own team, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, and the drivers Michael Waltrip and, well, eventually his son. Who am I missing? Come on, who was with Michael Waltrip besides Dale Jr.? Anyway,
yes.
Exact same scenario.
I'm talking about another sport, Crasher, not motorsport. Is there, Stat, does anything come to mind? Is there another sport where you're wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey, you're getting paid by the Cowboys, but you're part owner of the Philadelphia Eagles?
No, in fact, they have rules against that keep people from doing that. That's the crazy part. There's no way that they can allow that to go on. Imagine the money that's changing hands with the gamblers before or after it was legalized. There'd be bodies showing up on Las Vegas Boulevard randomly after a while.
Because now you dug a hole that I want to walk into, because that's with NASCAR, and now it's heavy affiliation with gambling sites. With gambling, you can. I'm not saying it's happening, but it's easier. Wow. Have we paid up our insurance on the studio?
Just go for it.
It's easier to fix a race when you're driving for another owner, but you own another team.
Well, that was actually, in fact, a while ago when Brendan Gaughan ran in the truck series, and he was going to be champion, and he accused another team of putting extra trucks on the track to keep him from gaining the points that he needed. That was a long time ago, but I imagine that happens where people block other people to get points for a teammate. I mean, it's pretty wild.
And now that brings us into the conversation that you alluded to, Kenny, at the top of the show, of the 2008 Crashgate in Formula One.
Can we put that on hold a
second?
Yes,
but it all ties in together. Fixing races or not fixing races, and how that affects betting and Las Vegas.
Well, going back to what Stat said, let's just say that McDonald's is on the fence to join 2311, or as I said 5 minutes ago, 23XI. 2311, the team that Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan own. Let's say McDonald's is on the fence, and it's Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace running for the win. And Denny Hamlin knows that if Bubba Wallace gets that race win, McDonald's will be on the side of that car 16 races next year. But if he doesn't, there's a chance that McDonald's will not be on that damn car. If you're
sponsor negotiations.
Imagine if you're on the phone, Denny's driving. Dave, Skipjack, get McDonald's on the phone, man. If Bubba wins this SOB, will you guarantee you'll be on the side of the car?
Steve Phelps chimes in and says, nope, we told Brad Keselowski or whoever it was, Brad Keselowski, no cell phones in the car anymore. So keep driving.
Skipjack.
Yeah.
I love that. Where'd you get that from?
Who knows, Stat? Where do I get half this stuff, bud? We act like we're so surprised when certain things happen. And if that happened, why would that surprise us? It would be, well, okay, we saw it coming, but my gosh, that's not surprise. No, it's not surprise. It's this world that we live in now. It can happen. I know how important sponsors are. I know everyone on this TV radio show knows how important sponsors are, how important radio affiliates are, what they mean to sponsorships, what MAV TV means to sponsorships. I get all that. So just the fact that we're talking about it, you can't act like that it hasn't been done.
Fixing races is what you're talking about. You can't act like it hasn't been done. We're already arguing it in Formula One. Has it happened in NHRA? Come on, we've talked about team owners in that motorsport forever. So yes, fixing races is clearly a thing.
Man, we're making a whole lot of friends with this conversation, aren't we?
Yes.
Freak Nation, NASCAR heads to Mexico in a big move and surprising a lot of people. We'll get to that. Crasher alluded to it at Formula One. There's a lawsuit that may rear its ugly head in Formula One that we'll get to. Dale Jarrett and Denny Hamlin coming up next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Lucas Oil, it works.
I run Lucas Oil.
It doesn't matter if you're on the water,
driving to work,
or competing in a sold-out stadium.
Lucas Oil products will help you get the most out of your vehicle.
Monster Jam has run Lucas Oil in and on our trucks for over 10 years.
We wouldn't run anything else.
Lucas Oil, the official oil of Monster Jam.
My second home is my car. I'm always headed to meetings or taking our daughter somewhere, and like you, I travel with valuables. So to keep those items safe, use the Headrest Safe. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Store cash, medication, cell phones, or firearms out of sight in your Headrest Safe. It's so easy to install the Headrest Safe, and your possessions will stay out of sight. Go to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cash, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Hiding, and Tron Brown battling out for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, I can save you about $100. How about that? When you buy yourself a new set of tires from our friends at General Tire, go to generaltire.com and find out what tires that you could buy for your light truck, SUV, passenger car, where you can get up to $100 back. Now through the end of October, up to $100 back with 4 qualifying tires from our friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com. That's generaltire.com. I've been saying NASCAR goes to Mexico, and I've been confusing a few people. Let's just say Mexico's coming to NASCAR. How about that?
I like that.
You like that? We'll get to that story.
Again, actually. But now in the big city, bright lights, big city.
That's what I'm talking about. We'll get to that story if you haven't heard about it. It's pretty bitching. Also, I haven't said that word on air in a long dang time. Can I say that on MAV TV? I just did. Yeah, okay. I'll get a phone call from Mr. Mav TV tomorrow morning about 8:05 Eastern time.
Mav. I like that.
Mr. Mav. Mr. Mav's on the phone, Sarge. Great. Formula One, there's a lawsuit that's a brewing that might attempt to take away a championship from one of the greatest Formula One drivers ever. We'll get to that story. But first, Denny Hamlin is quickly becoming, if not, do you think Denny Hamlin's already surpassed Joey Logano as a heel in NASCAR?
Is Richie shaking his head? I'm going to shake my head with him.
Richie,
yes,
why?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, just watch the reaction to those fans at Bristol this weekend and tell me he isn't first overall in terms of the villain draft in NASCAR drivers right now.
Right.
And the reason why I love it is because Denny Hamlin embraces it like I've never seen another driver embrace it. We have some clips that we'll play coming up in a little bit where he's talking about having a sword, getting back at haters. And I flippin' love it. I put out a poll yesterday on the SpeedFreaks Twitter account, and you can check it out. And I asked, who would you rather win the NASCAR Cup Series Championship, Denny Hamlin or the field? And right now, 75%-ish are saying the field. Whoa. Nobody likes this guy. It's terrific. I love it. And we talk about this all the time. Every sport, professional sport, needs a villain. Mm-hmm. Somebody to hate in order for you to get you to hate watch. Whether that's
hate watch.
Yeah.
Like that.
If it's Max Verstappen in F1, that's fine. If it's the Dallas Cowboys, cool. If it's the Lakers, if it's the Dodgers, whoever it may be. And Denny Hamlin is that guy. And I want him to win the Cup Series Championship so freaking bad because of that, because it would be great for NASCAR.
Well,
it would be great.
Richie, Kyle Busch played that role for a couple of years and lost.
Oh, no.
Statman, we lost your audio.
Mr. Mav cut in.
There we go. Mr.
Mav
Mr.
cut
Mav's
in
on.
with Mr. Internet.
Stat, are you back? There we go. Go ahead, Stat.
So the Kyle Busch played that role for a couple of years and almost lost a sponsor. At least one didn't renew. The candy company, M&M's, didn't renew with him, and he ended up having to leave Gibbs Racing and go to Richard Childress. I mean, that was a significant thing, and he's been a couple of years trying to remake himself into the nice guy after he embraced the villain's role for a long couple of years.
Yeah, slightly different there, though. The candy company did not renew, speaking of lawsuits, because they have their own fair share of lawsuits right now with bad coloring and fake ingredients in there. Just saying. But that wasn't necessarily because of his attitude.
But they found it easy to walk away from Kyle Busch. If he was a nice guy and winning races and championships, they would have found a way to be there. But being a bad guy and he wasn't winning that many races and his championships were behind him, evidently, they said, we don't need to be here.
But he's got sponsors now.
Look, I can't compare Denny Hamlin to Kyle Busch because Denny Hamlin doesn't come off as an a-hole to reporters, to PR people, to fans. I think Denny Hamlin is just playing it when the camera comes on, he plays the heel. And I'm with you. I want him to win it just because it makes some people uncomfortable with this freaking champion rolling around. In fact, here is Denny talking about playing the villain.
18 years in that I'm probably not going to win the most popular driver award. I've come to the conclusion of that. I understand it. They think they bother me, but clearly it's having an opposite effect. So I welcome any fan to want to come to the dark side. It's all 5 of my fans are still out there chanting my name. They're over in turn 3 right now. But yeah, it's as Cat Williams said, a hater can't stand a winner.
Cat Williams.
There you go, Scat Man.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a huge step. Wow.
Denny Hamlin playing the villain. Loves it. All 5 of his fans do too. Denny Hamlin won the NASCAR Cup race last night in Bristol Baby. And when did this sword become a thing with Bristol?
And what are you doing with that sword? I'm fighting off all the haters. I'm gonna jam them in the gut. They come close for me.
When did the sword come into play, Suave? Any idea?
I know they've called it for a while, like the last Great Coliseum. So I'm assuming it has something to do with that. First of all, I will take the sword 1 million times out of 1 million over that stupid grandfather clock from Martinsville.
Oh, come
Yes.
on.
I am with you.
What the hell am I going to do with a grandfather clock? You know what I can do with a sword?
You're going to
Hell
put it in
yeah.
your foyer. That's what or your basement, or give it to somebody else who doesn't know how to tell time.
What?
The grandfather clock is fine.
I sense a poll at Map TV. I'm going to put
Yes.
it out right now.
I might agree with you there, Rich. Yet, if I went through all the trouble to win a car race, and they presented me with this massive grandfather clock, and I got to take it home and be irritated by it for the rest of my life,
You can turn the chimes off.
Tell that to your parents, Crash. Man.
They turn it off from 11 p.m. to 7:15 a.m.
Damn right, I got dang one too.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, if you're, listen, let's just put it out there, Suave. If you're.
Okay. But before you put it out there, Nashville clearly has the best trophy.
I don't know,
guitar.
Crash.
A guitar?
Yeah,
it's a cool trophy.
I can go to freaking Guitar
Center
and get 30 different guitars, but I can't get a sword. That sword looks like it could chop off the neck of an elephant.
And you also can't get a grandfather clock.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can. I go down to Target.
But you're not going to. But if you win, you can't get one at Target. But if you win one, it's pretty freaking cool. Dang it.
Yes. I mean, Home Depot sells freaking grandfather clocks. You can't walk into Home Depot and get a freaking sword. Or as my daughter said in third grade, a sword.
That's right.
Stupid English language. Trying to teach my daughter Spanish. She learned Spanish out of the gate, no problem. But now learning English.
English, she has so many questions.
She's 9 years old.
She has so many questions with English.
Yes.
Why is this letter in this word? I don't know. No idea.
I'm going to go coat the garage. What are you going to put a jacket on it, Dad? Man, here we go. No. I'm going to go wear a coat and put a coat on the garage floor. Coat of what? I don't know how we got that rabbit hole, Stat Man.
We've got a rabbit center here. Rabbits are us.
Put it out there, Suave. Would you rather have the Bristol sword? Listen, if all 4 of us lose it and start laughing, Mr. Mav will call me in about 5 minutes.
Yes. So beware.
Sword or grandfather's clock?
No, grandfather clock.
Oh, hell, here we go. Oh, my gosh.
What are you doing with that sword? I'm fighting off all the haters. I'm gonna jam them in the gut. They come close for me.
See there? That's a badass sword. It's not one of the little flimsy things the kids walk around with on Halloween night. Denny Hamlin still loves racing, though.
I still love it, right? I very well could get knocked out next round or next, and then this year is up. We failed again, but I still love it. I love the process it takes to come to the racetrack and be fastest in practice and fastest in qualifying and win the race. Like, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication. And usually at this point of probably drivers' careers, they start not loving it as much because you just got so much other stuff going on. But I'm a competitor and I love competing. And at 42, I love this sport as much as I ever have and what it takes to find an edge, right? I'm
going to stop it right there. Would Denny Hamlin be saying the same damn thing if he had a championship?
If he already had
He has 0 championships.
Or would he be saying the same thing if, as rumored, his FedEx sponsorship disappears next year?
Would he be saying the same damn thing if FedEx was gone?
Would
allegedly?
he be saying the same thing if he was a 20 and below driver? He would not be having as much fun.
Freak Nation will clarify. Mexico is coming to NASCAR in one specific location, the second largest media market in the country. We'll explain. Also, Dale Jarrett coming up here in the Freak Nation. And there's something going on in the Super Motocross Series that's absolutely bonkers. More freaks coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cass, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Hiding, and Tron Brown battling out for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Like many of you, my second home is my car. I'm headed to meetings, errands, honeydews, or taking our daughter somewhere, and it can get a bit unnerving when you're traveling with valuables to all these places. So keep these possessions safe and secure with the headrest safe. Yep. Store cash, medication, cell phones, firearms, or anything else that's important to you right in your headrest safe. It'll give you peace of mind knowing that you can keep your valuables safe and secure. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com. Use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Look, man, you're one step closer to having the best of both worlds in terms of safety and quick access. Hit them up, theheadrestsafe.com. Use promo code FREAKS for $100 off. Another bonus, you can easily install the headrest safe, and you'll then be able to relax knowing your possessions will stay out of the hands of kids, valets, or even intruders. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com. Use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Whether it's commuting to work, visiting a loved one, taking the kids where they need to go, going to the big game, or anywhere life takes you, Lucas Oil is committed to getting you there for all of life's important moments. Lucas Oil, it works.
This segment of Speed Freaks is sponsored by BetterHelp. Like many of you, I own my own business. Well, it's Speed Freaks, and being self-employed can bring some stressful times. And for me, they all hit me at night just before bed. My mind is racing, falling asleep is a chore. When I do zonk out, sleep is interrupted. The racing mind just won't stop. But one way to curtail all that head chatter going on is to talk it through. And that therapy gives you a place to do that. Finding some emotional peace, you know? If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. Fill out a quick questionnaire with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. To get 10% off your first month, go to BetterHelp, HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
Freak Nation, here's a word of wisdom. You very seldom get this from me because I am not the wisest person on the planet. Go to lucasoil.com. Issues inside your engine, outside your engine, inside your car, outside your car. Listen, Lucas Oil has multiple lines of products to keep your motorcycle, your boat, I got to go to it again, your 67 Mustang in the garage. Keep them all fat and happy. Go to lucasoil.com or check them out at Walmart, Riley Auto Parts, AutoZone, your favorite auto parts dealer. For more information?
Amazon.
I
just found some Lucas products on Amazon.
Bang. Go to lucasoil.com for more information. I don't care how you phrase it, but it's a pretty nifty deal, man. Mexico is coming to NASCAR. And I believe the press release came out, in the last 2 days, Richie?
No, it came out today. If you were watching the NFL on Fox today, you got the breaking news first, as I did. That's how I learned that we have a date for the return of the NASCAR Busch class at the Coliseum. It's going to take place on Sunday, February 4th, and they're adding a brand new race this year. They're bringing back to the United States of America the NASCAR Mexico Series. They've raced in the United States before. They actually had a couple races at Phoenix International Raceway several years ago back in the day, but they're back. They're going to race prior to the actual clash at the Coliseum on Sunday, February 4th, and they're going to announce the full lineup a little bit later on. But this series has been around for almost 20 years. Daniel Suarez is an alumni of that particular series, and there are a couple other alumni that are in current one of the big three NASCAR series as well. So this is really cool, continuing to grow the sport, not only in Los Angeles, but in Mexico as well. So good on NASCAR for doing this. And it should be really cool. And I hope it gets televised too, because sometimes those races won't get televised, but I hope they put this on Fox Sports and those drivers, that series, get the national exposure that they deserve. It's really cool.
So let me understand this. NASCAR is looking for a new audience, so they bring in people from Mexico to race at the Coliseum near downtown Los Angeles.
What?
Right?
Yes.
IndyCar, looking for a new audience, goes to Palm Springs to $10 million condos behind the gate, behind live armed guards, and they want to run a race there looking for a new audience in order to grow the sport. Now, which one of these things doesn't work?
Is that music stellar? Is that IndyCar putting a race?
By God, that's Roger Penske's music.
Yeah, that's a Godfather coming into the gated community to run my damn IndyCars.
I'm just asking, I'm just asking. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Two things on what you just said, Statman. I'm sad. The full NASCAR schedule isn't out. A surprise to me. Typically, why am I holding this on camera?
I don't know why.
Typically, NASCAR gets their schedule out a month or so ago, but they're still trying to finagle some things. And the word is that they're not returning to the road course in Indianapolis with that doubleheader with IndyCar. Disappointed in that. And two, I'm even more disappointed the fact that not enough people are disappointed about that. Because we ran a poll on that, and it's like 75, 80% says, yeah, get off the freaking road course. Do you remember that freaking turtle
follow the leader turtle
exhibition?
Race? Yeah.
And they keep claiming, and I
on
get
the oval at Indianapolis.
Yes. Well, the new next gen car is going to provide. Listen, there's different climates at that track. It's so damn big on that oval. It's so conditioned.
It's so flat for NASCAR. It's not, that oval was not built for the weight and the configuration of a stock car or a NASCAR stock car. No matter if it's the next gen or not. I'm very worried about them returning to the Indianapolis Oval as well. I've enjoyed the road course weekend. You enjoyed it, Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
The doubleheader. We talked with IndyCar drivers at St. Louis. And they were talking about how upset that they are that weekend is going away because they see it as a chance to get back with their friends in NASCAR and just chill for the weekend. There's drivers hanging out in the driver lot, barbecuing together, IndyCar, NASCAR. Those guys are friends. I mean, it didn't used to be that way, but they are now. And yeah, they're bummed that that's going away. It's a great weekend for both series to hang out together, and it's going away.
I applaud NASCAR for continuing to think outside the box, to the aggravation of some of the stalwarts that have followed NASCAR for their 75 years. We as humans get aggravated when things are changed up on us. Well, my daughter at 9 years old does the same damn thing. She's 9. But in order to evolve, you've got to change. And bringing in this Mexico series to LA. I mean, yeah, you could start with all the jokes of that, and I get it. I'm not even going to go there. But to have black musicians, rappers, there at the Coliseum, Pitbull kicking off the Clash last year at the Coliseum. In the middle, Ice Cube, correct. Yes, Ice Cube. In the middle of an area of Los Angeles where you could throw a blanket the size of Burbank over Los Angeles prior to this, and you wouldn't hit a NASCAR fan. But they're coming.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes.
If you cast it, they will be there to watch. It's what's happening. That is what's happening. That's what has happened over the last 2 years with this Busch Light Clash. So yeah, like you said, kudos to NASCAR. Thinking outside the box, bringing it to people who don't normally or have not normally watched this form of entertainment.
Right.
And then going away with a new experience, some happiness, and then turning on their TVs the next several weeks. That's how you do it.
We could, again, devote another segment to this, that evidently the Bristol dirt race is going away.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that's not evidently. They announced that this weekend at Bristol. Yeah.
But what's the reason behind that? The logistics? Is that the problem with the dirt race?
They didn't, at least not from what I've read. Have you guys read something different? I have not read a specific reason. Is it financial or is it just pain in the butt? Like you said, logistics, bringing in all that dirt and then hauling it all out. The weather a couple of years ago, making it even more of a logistical nightmare. I don't know.
Excuse me, Crash, something has happened with the Bristol. We've been on the air long enough to remember when all 160,000 seats were sold and people were screaming and hollering, and when people were yelling, you could feel the wind come from the grandstands. But this weekend, I looked at it and maybe a third or half the seats weren't sold. And that surprised me, even with all the other changes that are going on in the economy, in motorsports, and the general decline in audience at a NASCAR event. One thing that was for sure was all the seats would be sold at the night race at Bristol. It's Bristol, baby. That's why the people at NASCAR, the drivers in particular, love it.
I had a friend who had 6 seats, I believe, to Bristol this weekend. He was going to drive down from Wisconsin and didn't end up doing it because he called friends in Indiana, friends in Illinois, friends in Tennessee. Nobody wanted to go this weekend. And yeah, times have changed because you are right, Statman. We were working with Sharpie and the Newell Rubbermaid Company for several years in the mid-2000s and constantly going to that race. We brought winners in an RV to the Bristol night race. It was a massive weekend. And at that time, there was a waiting list to get tickets to Bristol. Now, you kind of can't give them away. And I don't understand it either because I still find the racing entertaining. I still find the weekend entertaining. What did I see with our friend Bob Pockras on Thursday night? A bubble party? I mean, Bristol is still doing enough to make it a fun weekend for people who do come out. So I shake my head in question as well. Why are people not showing up?
It was an event that, again, Statman and I will always remember standing right there in one of the corners when they lit up how many cars at the
43.
time? 43 cars at the time. And it was stunning. And it would be a race that if I didn't have to go through some red tape listen, first world problems, I get it. But it's a race I would go to again. I wouldn't go to it every year.
I would definitely go to the night race again, though. Yes.
But no. I like the fact that it's a cutoff race. I think that's one of the smarter things that NASCAR's done. Freak Nation, coming up next, we lost a good one, and we'll hear messages about her next.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system. Pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
My second home is my car. I'm always headed to meetings or taking our daughter somewhere, and like you, I travel with valuables. So to keep those items safe, use the Headrest Safe. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Store cash, medication, cell phones, or firearms out of sight in your Headrest Safe. It's so easy to install the Headrest Safe, and your possessions will stay out of sight. Go to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cass, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Hiding, and Tron Brown barreling out for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
some notes in watching racing on television this weekend. I was ready to congratulate IMSA for a series of promotional videos that did not sell crashes to the TV audience. Then the field tried to get through turn 1 at Indy and changed all of that. Then there were Ford commercials during the race telecast on NBC. They were bragging about success and innovative products from Detroit. Union concessions kept Detroit in business during the recession a few years ago, and now those same UAW workers are forced out onto picket lines while profits rain down on executives. The IMSA race was solid. One lead change came under yellow, and it was legal, as it turns out. Then there was traffic, and the lead was surrendered again, legally as well. It'll be worth watching the overnight TV ratings. The battle on the bricks went on the air at the same time as the early NFL games on Sunday afternoon. You wonder who was watching. And finally, those who continue to boo Darrell Wallace in the NASCAR playoffs, keep doing it. Former champions are falling by the wayside. He keeps soldiering on. You have to wonder if all those boos are actually cheers for the people at 2311 Racing. They're doing well. Peace.
Your Statman Scat brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Now through the end of October, Freak Nation, you can get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Buy 4 qualifying light truck, SUV, passenger car tires from General Tire. Up to $100 back with 4 qualifying tires from General Tire. Let's get into some Crash Gladys pit news and notes, and maybe off of that, Crasher, we could play off what's going on in Super Motocross and that points extravaganza.
Let's do it.
Oh, damn right, I got a dang one too.
Yes.
Kenny's soundboard is back, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to have fun with it. This brings us back to the old days of Speed Freaks, in which Kenny would just drop in all these movie lines, and who knows what's going to happen now. But let's talk about racing on the weekend, from the Battle of the Bricks to the battle with Mother Nature. That was NHRA. First, the NASCAR night weekend in Bristol. On Thursday, it was William Sawalich with the ARCA Bristol win on General Tires, by the way. Kenny just talking about GeneralTire.com. He beat Jesse Love by 0.4 of a second and secured his first ARCA East title, the third consecutive title, East, I should say, for Joe Gibbs Racing. Corey Heim took the 1 spot and locked his way into the Final Four in the NASCAR Truck Series. Xfinity ran on Friday night. Teammates were colliding. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was on fire. But in the end, literally, but in the end, it was Earnhardt's guy, Justin Allgaier, with the win at Bristol, his first at the Coliseum, if I'm not mistaken. By cup time on Saturday night, tensions were high on who would advance to the round of 12. Denny Hamlin snagging the win and taunting the fans, the booing fans, I should say. We haven't played that audio clip yet, have we? All right, we'll get to that in the next hour. While Ricky Stenhouse, Michael McDowell, and 2 former champions, Joey Logano and the retiring Kevin Harvick, failing to advance to the round of 12. Next up for NASCAR, Tejas, Texas, baby. NHRA raced, at least mostly, at Maple Grove in Pennsylvania. The weekend was stellar until Mother Nature played her part in elimination rounds today, Sunday. So the final 2 rounds remaining of racing will resume tomorrow, Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Probably best to check out NHRA.com for all of that. The IMSA Sports Car Series, as Statman just alluded to, raced in Indy, affectionately known as the Battle on the Bricks. Your GTP overall winners were Nick Tandy and Matthew Jaminet for Penske Porsche. GTD Pro winners were the WeatherTech squad of Jules Gounon and Daniel Huncadella. All results are detailed on IMSA.com and Racer.com.
Can you say those names again?
Which ones?
Huncadella.
Huncadella. I actually think it's Huncadella.
Right.
Because our daughter has taught us in Spanish, the double L is ya, not la.
Copy.
So it should be Huncadella, but I'm just going with the Americanized version of Huncadella.
Hold on. Breaking news. I don't have breaking news.
No.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Now, get a 4 shot on there, Suave.
What?
Now, who's the driver that his last name that I would make reference to going to the bathroom?
Gronholm.
Yeah, Gronholm.
Marcus Gronholm.
I think I've got a new one. I'm going to head to the bathroom.
Make a Huncadella.
Make a Huncadella.
I hope we never have to ask him to come on the show one night.
You know, I actually asked his PR guy just this evening as NHRA gets canceled. So we knew we weren't going to have an NHRA winner on the show.
Right.
We worked on the Formula D winner. Couldn't get him on the show tonight either. So I'm reaching out to friends in PR saying, hey, got some open slots tonight. And one of them was for Daniel Hunkadea.
All right. Well, we'll work on that. Sorry,
so, you know,
Crasher.
and Kyle Chura, by the way, Statman, is the man who represents him. So we're going to get him on. Yeah, look at your face.
Hunkadera, baby.
No, not Dara. Daya.
Hunkadea. Excuse me, man. I got a Hunkadea poking its head out.
So long.
All right, come on, Crash. Let's
Marcus Gronholm days. Okay, let's get to Formula D. Formula D was in Utah. You watched the action on MAV TV Saturday night. You saw Matt Field battle from the back to almost hit the top of the box. Field was second to your now three-time winner on the season, Chelsea Denofa. Speaking of Formula anything, and I know we're going to get to this wonderful series later on in the show, how about Max Verstappen, his winning streak ending after Carlos Sainz took the Singapore GP win? Are we happy about that? Yes, we're very happy.
Yes.
Max Verstappen, was he fifth? Whoa, what happened to the Red Bulls? What happened? Again, we'll get to that series later in the show. Regarding winning streaks, Jet Lawrence, yes, we talked about this last weekend. He lost his winning streak in round one of the Super Motocross Playoff Championships. That was on the drag strip at ZMAX Dragway last weekend. But this weekend at Chicagoland, it was full-on redemption for the Aussie champ. He controlled most of the two motos, taking the win in Moto 1 and second in Moto 2. Ken Roczen winning the second moto for second overall on the weekend. Now, here's the big deal. Heading into the championship next weekend, the first ever Super Motocross Championship, which is the Supercross Championship from the beginning of the year, the Motocross Championship, the outdoors in the summer season, and then these three championship playoff wins together, the points from all of that basically coming together. Chase Sexton is leading those points by just 2 digits over Jet Lawrence and just 10 over Ken Roczen. Any of those three, and I'm just going to say it, anyone else as well. I believe Adam Steven Cerullo is way down there. It's anyone's championship, though, pretty much. Next weekend, speaking of the Coliseum, in the Coliseum, the dirt will be in the Coliseum for this first ever finals extravaganza. 2 motos, LA Coliseum, dirt inside, going through the turnstile, right, Kenny? Your favorite.
Yep.
The LA Coliseum. Can Jet Lawrence do it? And if he does, he ran, correct me if I'm wrong, just one Supercross race?
On the 450s.
On the 450s. Mm-hmm. He dominated the outdoor season as a rookie, but he only ran one Supercross race, I believe, in the 450s. That would be amazing if he takes the overall championship.
Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to GeneralTire.com to find out how you can get up to $100 back on the Visa prepaid card buying 4 qualifying tires from General Tire. And again, the significance of what Crasher's talking about, and this doesn't, if you follow motocross, supercross, you know the significance of the name Jet Lawrence. If you don't, then this may not mean squat to you, but let me just try and put this in perspective. Let's say that the IndyCar Series and the NASCAR Cup Series had a championship. Please don't help me dig this rabbit hole any further, Crash.
Right,
I know you want to try and correct me on some things here, but let's just say at the end of the season that IndyCar and NASCAR are going to run 3 races, and they're going to crown a champion of the outdoor and the indoor IndyCar NASCAR seasons. All right, just
the best driver in the contiguous 48. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, how about that? Right now, of those drivers in the IndyCar NASCAR season, no, this is not going to make any sense. This is not going to make any sense.
You would have to race both.
Yeah,
series.
you'd have to race both of them, wouldn't you?
Because that's what's happening in Supercross and Motocross. You race both.
The
series.
Supercross season, Jet Lawrence, as Crash said, ran one 450 race.
Because he was racing in the 250s, the lights, formerly known as the lights, the 250 class, all Supercross season, clinched that title and decided, I'm going to try my hand at 450s because I know that's what I want to do coming in the outdoor season. He wasn't full-time in 450s and Supercross.
And he crushed it in the outdoor season, so much so that he could win the freaking Super Motocross Championship. Right now, as Crasher said, he's just 2 points behind Chase Sexton, who ran both series.
Yep.
On the 450.
Yep.
Wow. It is significant, Freak Nation. All right, coming up next hour, we will get to a young woman who lost her life, the significance of her in NASCAR. We'll get to that. And Dale Jarrett coming up. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cash, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Heining, and Tron Brown barreling on for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
My second home is my car. I'm always headed to meetings or taking our daughter somewhere, and like you, I travel with valuables. So to keep those items safe, use the Headrest Safe. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Store cash, medication, cell phones, or firearms out of sight in your Headrest Safe. It's so easy to install the Headrest Safe, and your possessions will stay out of sight. Go to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules, throwing some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Please hang up and try again.
Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Second hour of the Freaks, Freak Nation. Dale Jarrett will be joining us here in the Freak Nation. Also coming up, young woman lost her life that played a significant role inside the walls of NASCAR. We'll talk about Sherry Pollux sometime this hour. We'll also bring up the topic we had last hour about how Mexico is coming to NASCAR in Los Angeles. We'll talk about that. Also, I want to get to that Formula One lawsuit that, well, there's something brewing inside, speaking of walls, inside the hallowed walls of Formula One involving a former driver and a current driver and his championship run. We'll get to that.
And
Freak
the
Nation.
former owner who now doesn't remember saying what he said.
Yes. It's human greatness inside Formula One. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, the website, speedfreaks.tv. And again, how do you do? A big how do you do to KTLK in St. Louis. Now the home for the Freaks on KTLK FM in St. Louis. Thank you guys for housing the Freaks on Sunday nights. Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C. Suave. We're all here. And old Denny Hamlin, he still likes that damn sword he won last night in Bristol.
What are you doing with that sword? I'm fighting off all the haters. I'm gonna jam them in the gut. They come close to me.
And just in case you did not get a chance to see the post-race coverage of Denny Hamlin actually hopping outside the car and talking to the crowd, Denny Hamlin is quickly becoming a rival to Joey Logano and Kyle Busch in playing the heel with NASCAR. But Denny Hamlin, dude's happy to continue to play.
18 years in that I'm probably not going to win the most popular driver award. I've come to the conclusion of that. I understand it. They think they bother me, but clearly it's having an opposite effect. So I welcome any fan to want to come to the dark side. All 5 of my fans are still out there chanting my name. They're over in turn 3 right now. But yeah, it's as Cat Williams said, a hater can't stand a winner.
Geez, if I would have listened, nowhere on any of our Speed Freaks bingo cards did we have Cat Williams coming up sometime.
That's a good point.
In the Freak Nation.
That's
Swords
the
and
first.
Cat Williams, right?
That's in 23 years, that's the first.
There's a young woman by the name of Sherry Pollux, who at one time was the wife of Martin Truex Jr.
Girlfriend.
They never got married,
No,
right? They
no.
just announced the split.
That was a couple of years
recently.
ago.
No,
and
hold on a second.
Mhm.
It wasn't a couple of years ago.
About a year and a half ago.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it feels like it's sometime this year.
Yeah.
And Crasher, you can illuminate this much better than I can. The significance that she played with inside the walls of NASCAR, not just as Mark Truex's girlfriend at the time, but really the awareness that she brought to, frankly, people, men, women dealing with cancer.
Right. She was born a motorhead anyway, and she was public relations for several drivers. And that's how we got to know her in the early goings of Speed Freaks some 15, 20 years ago. But yeah, she dated Martin Truex Jr. for several years. And unfortunately, during their time together is when she was also diagnosed with ovarian cancer. But she immediately turned that into a mission of not just creating awareness for her type of cancer, but also massively for childhood cancers, many of them. And she had a catwalk for a cause in which she would walk the runway with children also with cancer and try to make things fun and give them something to enjoy while also raising money at the same time. It was just pretty incredible how her spirit really persevered through her pain. And she became such a good person, but I'm trying to think of a better word. She just became and what's the word I'm looking for? a symbol
there you
for
go.
really
Representation.
getting through
Yeah.
cancer and getting through any sort of devastating life disease in the right way. Her spirit was so good. She lived her life the right way. And it's a shame to see that she is no longer with us.
Here she is a couple of years ago with Gentlemen Start Your Engine.
Drivers, start your
way.
Say it again.
How fitting that was also Bristol Motor Speedway just a couple of years ago, and that's the race that was this weekend when she eventually lost her life.
And some of these tweets that we'll read here coming from some of the biggest names in sports, frankly, motorsports, from Dale Earnhardt Jr. She was such a fighter, inspiring in how she went about her own challenges, but also how she learned to live every day to its fullest. Amy and I were lucky enough to have known her and call her a friend. Michael McDowell. Sherry was such an inspiration to all of us. She helped so many in her journey and leaves a life-giving legacy. No more pain, no more suffering. Thank you, Jesus, that this earth is not our home. And then one more from cupscene.com. This has me in tears. Sherry was such an inspiration to me when I was fighting my own cancer battle. Gave me strength when I needed it most. I'll forever have her in my heart. Fly, free angel. And what was the instance, Crasher, that you were talking about on the catwalk with?
That was her charity. I mean, helping to raise money for childhood cancers. And the entire NASCAR community really rallied around that for years. And there was a time a couple of years ago, I believe, in which she was walking with the kid. I mean, that's just what they did. Drivers would walk with kids. Mm-hmm. It would be all fun. They would do some whatever they were wearing. They would do fun things on the catwalk to kind of make what they were wearing even more worth it. It was just, everything was in the spirit of enjoying yourself, especially the kids with cancer. Get on that stage, even if you have to bring a respirator with you, and let's just go down that catwalk and have fun. Well, one girl was with her a couple of years ago and basically looked up at Sherry and grabbed her wig and threw that wig on the catwalk. And they walked that catwalk laughing and just saying, yeah, I don't need a wig. We both have cancer. Let's just, let's kind of walk through it together and smile and have fun.
In fact, the interview that we had with Dale Jarrett, we caught up with him at an event here in Phoenix where they had a breakfast. Kyle Larson, Dale Jarrett, Nick Sanchez, and the ARCA Series female driver,
Tony Breininger,
showed up to raise awareness and to raise money for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, right? And Dale Jarrett was there. We talked a little bit about the significance of NASCAR and how it raises awareness to things such as this. So it's not lost on many of us that knew of her or knew her, of Sherry Pollock's losing her life. I don't know how we transitioned.
Well, what we need to take away from this is the fact that she did as much as she could and she fought hard, but she like Dale Jr.'s tweet said, she lived so much in the sense of, I'm not going to think about this cancer that I have. I've got it. I've got to deal with it, but I'm also going to live my life. And that spirit, that the way that she was, is how we need to try to learn from and be able to be better people because of that. If she can do it, we can do it. We're all going to go through things in life that are going to be really difficult. It could be sickness. It could be other things. It could be us helping others that need it, and it drains us. We need to just keep charging on and living life to the best that we can. She did it. We can do it too.
Which, again, goes back to my comment about NASCAR and motorsports, sports stars, the time that they give to raise awareness for not just childhood cancer, but I could go on and on.
Anything.
And
homelessness, poverty,
right.
You name it.
And frankly, how it's a reminder. And a lot of times for me, it's like, God, you a-hole, man. Why aren't you more involved in something of significance that Sherry was? And spreading that information and making people more aware of the significance of childhood cancer. It's just, man, a family that we had over last night, some good friends of ours, and the time that they've given to fostering children. It's like, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough of it out there, man. Not enough of it out there. Have we seen anything? You know it's got to be moving and emotional for Martin Truex Jr., but have we seen anything from him?
He's put a statement out. Yeah.
Right.
Do we have a screenshot of that one?
I don't have it pulled up right this moment, but yes, I'll make sure to retweet it at SpeedFreaks on Twitter so you can go read it for yourself.
This is from Max Pappas. He says, our friend Sherry Pollux lost her battle. You fought like a lion and will always live in the Pappas family heart and memories. Just, if you're not familiar with her, you can search her name, go to Twitter, and you'll see the outpouring for Sherry Pollux friends and family, and those out there that realize what they've lost, the friendship, the personality, and someone that was just gets uncomfortable talking about when you're going into a break. You go on and on talking about it, but really the significance of what Sherry meant to a lot of people.
You take her good. She did a lot of good. You take that, and that's what we move forward with.
Right. All right, Freak Nation. Coming up, Dale Jarrett will join us here on Speed Freaks. Dale Jarrett, NASCAR champion, Hall of Famer, and NBC sports personality.
Now he's a media guy.
Coming up next, Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Lucas Oil, it works.
I run Lucas Oil.
It doesn't matter if you're on the water,
Driving to work,
or competing in a sold-out stadium.
Lucas Oil products will help you get the most out of your vehicle.
Monster Jam has run Lucas Oil in and on our trucks for over 10 years.
we wouldn't run anything else.
Lucas Oil, the official oil of Monster Jam.
My second home is my car. I'm always headed to meetings or taking our daughter somewhere, and like you, I travel with valuables. So to keep those items safe, use the Headrest Safe. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Store cash, medication, cell phones, or firearms out of sight in your Headrest Safe. It's so easy to install the Headrest Safe, and your possessions will stay out of sight. Go to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cass, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Hiding, and Tron Brown battling out for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Nation. This segment brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com for all the products to keep your rides fat and happy. Go to lucasoil.com. Dale Jarrett was in town. We caught up with him for a breakfast where he and Kyle Larson and others were helping raise awareness for Childhood Cancer Month last month. Dale Jarrett, now in the Freak Nation. Funny thing about this interview is Dale Jarrett's done his share of interviews and interviewing people, and Dale still doesn't know what the hell to do with his hands.
No, I don't. No. It's crazy that as a race driver, you talk with your hands too to tell your crew chief and your crew what the car was doing. That's only just words wasn't enough. You had to tell them, okay, when I get to this part of the corner, this is what the car is doing. This is what I needed to do. And as I got in the world of TV, I realized that if you tied my hands behind my back, that you'd get silence. I don't even know how I could speak.
It is fun watching drivers talk to each other because they'll use these hand movements, this, and this, or this, or this.
It's always this, like on the outside.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and how you got that in that position and how you got out of it is the main part. But, yeah, it's a universal language within the racing community.
Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, you're here along with Kyle Larson and others with the NASCAR community. You have found through your celebrity or your popularity through NASCAR to utilize it in situations like this, and it's endless and, of course, helpful.
Yes, it is. And I think that's one thing my dad taught me early on, that as I watched him go through his career and then have a successful career in TV later, that he was always giving back to the communities. Didn't matter where we are. NASCAR has done the same thing. We embrace the different cities, communities that we go to. What are the things that we can help with? And here is the Phoenix Children's Hospital.
You just referenced your dad and his driving career into his TV career, and then that's what you've done, driving into TV. Is that something you always wanted to do, is take that next step into TV because of your dad in order to keep your celebrity, maybe not in order to keep your celebrity to help causes like this, but was TV always on the horizon for you or no?
Never entered my mind. I first off didn't even think that I was going to drive a race car to begin with, so it wasn't I was going to follow in my dad's footsteps. I played football, basketball, baseball, and golf in high school. So I had 4 sports. I turned down a golf scholarship to the University of South Carolina, thankfully, because it all worked out in the right way. I was 20 before I ever drove a race car. We have people competing at the highest level in the Cup Series now before they're 20 years old. So, but it worked out for me in that way. And once I got into racing, I honestly never thought, I guess I just thought I was going to race forever, and I tried to. I did it till I was 51, but I did not have a plan whatsoever. And I wish that I would have looked more at what my dad did. There are clips. I mean, my dad calling my win in the 93 Daytona 500 is something that we get all the time, that people still say, hey, that's one of the best moments, especially when you see fathers and sons, that, for my dad to be able to do that, it was a special moment. But as he was doing that, I never thought about what he was doing. I'll be honest, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I never visited the TV compound during that time. I was focused on driving the car. I didn't care what was going on out there. They had to do what they had to do. And the only reason I would go back and watch races, it wasn't to listen to my dad. It was to see something I might have needed to know to be a better driver. But once ESPN came to me at that time as I was getting to the end of my career, and they said, look, we don't know when you're going to retire, but we have a job for you. So I started doing a few races and realized that, hey, this is kind of fun. But my dad had some good words and very good advice, which he did all through my years. I didn't listen to a lot of it, but he had some really good advice that, hey, you can make of TV what you want. You could go in the booth and call a race and never do any preparation during the week because you've lived that, you've done it. But it's not the best way to do it because the fans want to hear more than just what the drivers are going through, which you can give that perspective. But to do it right, you get into the garage area and you talk to the drivers and crew chiefs. There's a lot more work to it. I was amazed at how much it took if I wanted to be better at it each and every week. So that's a long answer to your question that Was I thinking about doing this? No, I wasn't, but I'm glad that I got involved because it has kept me there. It's kept me around the sport that's been great to my family for so many years, but it also gives me the opportunity to still connect with the different communities that we go to, and especially things like this.
Now, hold on. Do drivers really come to the TV compound? I still don't think to this day they do that. You guys are going to them. They don't make the effort to go to you.
They don't, but we actually have had some. And once, so in 2008, when I started full-time with ESPN, I went to NASCAR and I said, this is something that as I got involved, I had no idea how many people and the effort that it took to put this on. They're there to showcase the driver's talents and show the world what a great race driver you are, what a great race this is going to be. And we all took them for granted. Yeah, we knew that they paid a lot of money and that helped, our checkbooks, but you should go see the effort that's put forth. I know everybody talks about and hears that what a Super Bowl production is like, the number of people that it takes to make that happen one time a year. This is 36 weekends that this happens, And so I said, you should make the drivers, it should be a requirement. At some point in time, it's only a 15, 20-minute tour, but most stay longer than that. So I have had some to come, and they actually have come to me and said, hey, I appreciate you letting me know about that because it is eye-opening as to everybody that it takes and the effort that it takes to help us out.
Now, social media has changed the game as well. I noticed you're not really on social media because I tried to tag you on something from one of the other accounts I'm working, and I couldn't find you on Instagram. Why is that?
You will find me there now, but you will not see a post. I am there simply to view. It's
to research.
Yes, you see a lot of drivers, their wives or their PR people, and so there's a lot of information to be gathered, more than just I can get from our stats guys. I don't want to know stats. I want to know. My job now requires me knowing more about their personal life, and so I get on for that. I do have a Twitter account that my son actually runs, and if I have something that I want posted there, then I send it to him and he does it. Keeps me out of trouble because
he's your social media manager.
He is that, and so I could get myself in a lot of trouble. Not just trouble, but I wouldn't have a job because I couldn't hold myself back on some things that I might want to speak out, and so he lets me know that.
Dale, you mentioned wives in there, and Kyle Larson's wife, Caitlin, and Justin Mark's wife put some statements out there after the Daytona race, and they saying, I just don't like this type of racing. What can we do about it? And you forget the outside of the car, families, kids, wives, moms and dads watching their children do that. Your standpoint, what can we do about these things at Daytona, or do we just accept it the way it is?
And I don't mean to put them down, but this is a question that's been talked about for over 60 years. You can go back to the early days and watch some accidents that happened there in 1959 and say, gosh, what can we do about this? Then as the speeds ramped up, gosh, these crashes are just horrific. What are we going to do about it? Then 1987 came along. We were racing at Talladega, and Bobby Allison blows a tire and almost goes into the grandstand. Happened to be my very first race at Talladega, and I was only 10 cars behind where that happened. And then all of a sudden, restrictor plate racing came along. Now we're racing in packs. And we started saying, well, this is great. The speeds have slowed down, but now we have big crashes because everybody's together. What are we going to do about it? Here we are in 2023 asking the same questions. The good side is that for the most part, the drivers walk away. It's at the end of the day, it's not the car's fault. It's not the racing's fault. It's the drivers. You put competitive people in difficult situations, they're not going to think about the consequences. Not a one of those drivers that got in that race on Saturday night said, gosh, what if something happens if I make this move? What could happen is you could win. You don't think about what could happen is I might crash or crash somebody else. And again, fortunately, we saw Ryan Blaney and Ryan Priest take two horrific crashes, and they're both talking about them today, and they may be a little sore at this point in time, but they're going to be ready to climb back in a car. So, I appreciate the concern. I can remember my wife, Kelly, saying for years, when we went to Daytona and Talladega, as a driver, you always get nervous before a race, but they have no control over it. It's harder to watch than it is to participate, and because you don't think about the consequences.
Last one. You've been a part of NASCAR for so many years and watching the safety with these cars. Were you ever in the middle of it giving advice on how you see the safety of these cars improving?
I was, but I'm going to give kudos to Jeff Burton, one of my colleagues at NBC Sports. Jeff was a driving force through the years, even before we go to that fateful day of 2001 when Dale Earnhardt was lost his life in Daytona in the 500. Jeff was always talking to each of us about
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cass, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Hiding, and Tron Brown battling out for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Like many of you, my second home is my car. I'm headed to meetings, errands, honeydews, or taking our daughters somewhere, and it can get a bit unnerving when you're traveling with valuables to all these places. So keep these possessions safe and secure with the Headrest Safe. Yep. Store cash, medication, cell phones, firearms, or anything else that's important to you right in your Headrest Safe. It'll give you peace of mind knowing that you can keep your valuables safe and secure. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com. Use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Look, man, you're one step closer to having the best of both worlds in terms of safety and quick access. Hit them up, theheadrestsafe.com. Use promo code FREAKS for $100 off. Another bonus, you can easily install the Headrest Safe, and you'll then be able to relax knowing your possessions will stay out of the hands of kids, valets, or even intruders. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com. Use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Whether it's commuting to work, visiting a loved one, taking the kids where they need to go, going to the big game, or anywhere life takes you, Lucas Oil is committed to getting you there for all of life's important moments. Lucas Oil, it works.
This segment of Speed Freaks is sponsored by BetterHelp. Like many of you, I own my own business. Well, it's Speed Freaks, and being self-employed can bring some stressful times. And for me, they all hit me at night just before bed. My mind is racing, falling asleep is a chore. When I do zonk out, sleep is interrupted. The racing mind just won't stop. But one way to curtail all that head chatter going on is to talk it through. And that therapy gives you a place to do that. Finding some emotional peace, If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. Fill out a quick questionnaire with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. To get 10% off your first month, go to BetterHelp, HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Some notes in watching racing on television this weekend. I was ready to congratulate IMSA for a series of promotional videos that did not sell crashes to the TV audience. Then the field tried to get through turn one at Indy and changed all of that. Then there were Ford commercials during the race telecast on NBC. They were bragging about success and innovative products from Detroit. Union concessions kept Detroit in business during the recession a few years ago, and now those same UAW workers are forced out onto picket lines while profits rain down on executives. The IMSA race was solid. One lead change came under yellow, and it was legal, as it turns out. Then there was traffic, and the lead was surrendered again, legally as well. It'll be worth watching the overnight TV ratings. The battle on the bricks went on the air at the same time as the early NFL games on Sunday afternoon. You wonder who was watching. And finally, those who continue to boo Darrell Wallace in the NASCAR playoffs, keep doing it. Former champions are falling by the wayside. He keeps soldiering on. You have to wonder if all those boos are actually cheers for the people at 2311 Racing. They're doing well. Peace.
Statman Scat brought to you by General Tires. Now through the end of October, Freak Nation, go to GeneralTire.com to find out how you can get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card buying 4 qualifying SUV, light truck, passenger tires. Go to GeneralTire.com, the official tire of Freaks. To find out, again, you get $100 back, Visa prepaid card. Been teasing this for about an hour and a half. Formula One, there's a possible lawsuit that's brewing between a former driver and a current driver by the name of Lewis Hamilton, who is regarded by many to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Formula One driver ever. Richie, if you would start it off with this lawsuit that's coming about with Massa versus Hamilton versus Formula One. Let Statman color it in a little bit. I'd like to talk about it.
Yeah, this is, I just saw this story this week, and it has levels to it, man. So we're going to do our best to try and get to it in the next 10 minutes or so. But let's start with the latest on this. Earlier in this week, Toto Wolff weighed on this. He is the current team principal, the big wig at Mercedes, which is Lewis Hamilton's current team. So that's why this is kind of back in the news a little bit. I'm reading from the Mirror here. Toto Wolff is saying he's keeping an eye on Felipe Massa's lawsuit over his 2008 Formula One title loss could set a precedent which could spark legal action over Lewis Hamilton's Abu Dhabi heartbreak in 2021. So this all stems from back in 2008, Lewis Hamilton won his Formula One championship that year. Felipe Massa finished in second place. Now, I don't remember all the details here, so Statman, you're going to have to help me out with this. But back in 2008, Felipe Massa was involved in a controversy at the time involving somehow a manipulation of the race rules involving bringing out a safety car, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very, very complicated issue. But it's back in the news now because, and we should watch this a little bit because it's a little too similar to what we saw in 2020 with that, man.
Well, here's the issue. You'll remember when Lewis got his first championship, it was at Brazil. They were so close. In fact, when Massa crossed the finish line ahead of Lewis, the Massa was celebrating for a couple of turns, thought he'd won the championship.
I remember that.
But Lewis had passed a couple of people. Those extra points put him 1 point ahead of Massa, and the championship went to Lewis. Now, all these years later, Massa is saying that he's been told that one of the drivers at one of the races before at Singapore, when Massa was running near the front of the line, that one of those drivers were told to crash. And
with a Renault driver. Yeah.
He crashed, and Massa still didn't win the race, but he's arguing that the points that he could have gotten maybe would have made it the difference in that 1 point difference between him and Lewis. The crazy part of all of this is that Massa is asking Lewis to support Massa into taking one of Lewis's championships away and giving it to Massa. This is pretty stupid, but there's nothing to say that Formula One can't be stupid and do crazy things, especially after 2021 in Abu Dhabi, when they threw out the rule book to give Max Verstappen a chance to win his first championship, which would have been Lewis's 8th championship and would have put him above everybody else in history as winning more championships than anyone in Formula One.
I like how you say it's so crazy, and it is, that Felipe Massa wants Lewis Hamilton to back him on, hey, show me that I was robbed of my title in 2008, even though you took that title from me. Help me prove that. That's crazy enough. But the reason this is all in the news again is because the former owner of the series, Bernie Ecclestone, just this past March, decided to do an interview and talk about how, Max Mosley and I knew about the Renault crash gate. We knew that was going to happen before it happened. He admitted this in a media interview. And when he was asked recently, he said, oh, no, I never said that. I don't remember saying that at all.
Yeah, well, you have to, anything that comes out of Ecclestone's mouth has to be weighed against who wins and who loses and who gets the most money. And Max Mosley, between him and his family, they've been tied to all sorts of nefarious things. And you talk about rabbit holes, Kenny. This is the rabbit farm.
Yes.
Start going into Mosley and his family. We don't have to bring it up. Look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Did we offer the payoff though of why Toto is thinking this might be good for them?
Well, here's the deal, though.
Did we make the connection between if he gets
it's overturning a championship? Yeah,
they would overturn the championship that Formula One gave Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I mean that's
the
in 2021.
Payoff, right? Okay,
yes,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They threw out the rule book when Lewis was cruising, had an 11-second lead over Max. Somebody crashed. Funny how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And the field had to come back together. And suddenly, when they started racing again against the rules, they started racing again. And Max had fresh tires. Funny how that works. And Lewis, he passed Lewis and won his first championship. So, anything can happen in Formula One, and usually does. But the crazy part of the story that we're talking about, this Felipe Massa thing, is that Massa, I don't know how firmly in his cheek his tongue was, but he said that, Lewis, why don't you help me with this? You're a man with integrity, and you're one of the favorite sons of Brazil, even though he's from the UK, United Kingdom, Britain. But the people love you in Brazil. You should give me your championship, and let's call it even.
What? Exactly. Well, I like how he said, whatever, Felipe, that's your decision. You do what you're going to do. I'm focusing on the now, because they were asked about this at the Singapore Grand Prix this weekend over and over and over again. But for Lewis also, he's got to be laughing, because let's say it works and Felipe Massa gets his 2008 title given to him, taken away from Lewis. Then yes, Lewis would arguably have everything in the bag to get his rightfully deserved 2021 title given to him and away from Max Verstappen, Lewis is still sitting at 7 championships, laughing at everybody else in the Formula One paddock because it's like, all right, I should be an 8-time champ, but I'll either go from being a 7-time to a 6-time, but very quickly back to a 7-time again. So you guys do what you want. 7-time champ.
And they're going to take away that 2017 World Series title from the Astros, right? Right?
Yeah.
You know what the closest thing is I could think of off the top of my head is Reggie Bush's Heisman Trophy. That's the closest thing. Like it's crazy, but it's happened before, right? And he got it was 5 years after he won it. He still doesn't have it back for ridiculous reasons, even though we have NIL now.
Oh, right?
NIL now, but it's there's precedent for things to be reversed years down the road.
Look at Pete Rose, not in the Hall of Fame for supposedly gambling, and now gambling supports all sports, including baseball.
Yep.
I mean, you know, you have to listen to this craziness, and it doesn't make sense when you add it all up, but it happens.
Freak Nation, be sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and the website speedfreaks.tv. You miss any of it? Go to the website speedfreaks.tv for more information. More Freaks coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cash, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Hiding, and Tron Brown barreling on for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
My second home is my car. I'm always headed to meetings or taking our daughter somewhere, and like you, I travel with valuables. So to keep those items safe, use the Headrest Safe. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Store cash, medication, cell phones, or firearms out of sight in your Headrest Safe. It's so easy to install the Headrest Safe, and your possessions will stay out of sight. Go to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation. Speed Freaks brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com to find the right products to keep that big old snappy engine inside your car running happy. What about the interior of your car? Go to lucasoil.com. The exterior of your car, they got it. Go to lucasoil.com. Denny Hamlin won the Cup race last night in Bristol, baby. And dude still loves driving, given the fact that he's been in it for damn near 20 years.
I still love it, right? I very well could get knocked out next round or next, and then this year is up. We failed again, but I still love it. I love the process it takes to come to the racetrack and be fastest in practice and fastest in qualifying and win the race. Like, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication. And usually at this point of probably drivers' careers, they start not loving it as much because you just got so much other stuff going on. But I'm a competitor and I love competing. And you know, at 42, I love this sport as much as I ever have, and what it takes to find an edge. Right? It used to be back in the day, Joe would just build me a faster car than everyone else. You know, we'd come up with a new strict chassis and we just smoke everyone. I didn't have to put in a whole lot of work. You know, you just kind of rely on the fast car. Now, with everything common, the driver's the number one X factor in your performance week in, week out. That is a fact.
You watched that interview with Denny Hamlin. I didn't hear a damn thing he said. I kept looking at that freaking sword. That sword.
What are you doing with that sword?
I'm fighting off all the haters. I'm gonna jam them in the gut. They come close to me.
Yep, the trophy, or one part of the trophy at Bristol since 2014. Is that
2014? Carl Edwards was the first NASCAR driver to win the Bristol Sword. Yeah,
the first sword bearer.
Poll on Twitter at Speed Freaks. What do we have there regarding? Did we pull one out? Yeah, we pulled one out there for the trophies and about Denny Hamlin winning the championship.
There are two polls you can vote in at MapTV and at Speed Freaks on Twitter. Let's begin with the trophy one. I asked, what is the better NASCAR trophy? The Martinsville Clock, the Bristol Sword, or the Nashville Guitar, as Crash suggested earlier, which I like because I think that's really unique and really cool. Even though Kyle Busch broke his many years ago in Victory Lane, which is really awesome. Martinsville Clock is winning 61% of the vote. Those people completely wrong. And those are dopes. What in the world are you going to do with a flipping Martinsville Clock? Why would anybody want a clock? I don't understand that. It makes zero sense.
I don't know if we want to call our viewers and listeners dopes, but
I'll back him up.
I am doing it because we had the same discussion earlier this year after Kyle Larson won the Martinsville race about the Martinsville Clock. It's the stupidest trophy in sports.
I love you, dopes, because I love grandfather clocks. So there, dopes are us. Let's go. Dopes are my peeps.
21% sword, 80% guitar for the record.
Okay, let's just say they had the Richard C. Suave 500. Richie, and you had to come up with a trophy. What would your trophy be to that winning Cup driver that just won the Richard C. Suave International 500?
You're putting me on the spot.
Yes,
jeez. $3 trillion in gold.
But it's got to be a hardware. Like
Richie, that's not a trophy, bro. Well, gold. Yeah.
Solid gold. Yeah, just like gold member. Yeah.
You know what I would do? I would have a gold-plated a gold-plated racing shoe, like a boot.
Okay.
And then like a bare butt and the boot kicking the butt. Like I just kicked that ass.
Wow.
Reggie Showers did that once when he won at Indianapolis, and he held up. He had 2 sets of legs, because it was double amputee, and one of them was shorter, so he would be shorter and out of the airstream on the bike. And he held up this is the what did he say, Crash?
He held up his prosthetic.
Kick that ass.
Yeah, this is the leg that kicked all your asses.
Yeah,
I won the U.S. Nationals.
Reggie Showers, man, I haven't said that in a long time.
Yeah, he was a way cool dude. Yeah.
Well, am I the only creative one to have a boot kicking an ass?
A
Come
boot
on,
butt trophy. I love it.
Crasher, what would yours be?
Jeez, you're right. I don't have much creativity whatsoever, because I would do a chalice so you could drink out of it. But that's not like that's any different from any cup trophy that's out there. So,
but it could be like a cool jeweled chalice that's just
bedazzled.
Yeah, but the Crash bedazzled chalice, and we'd be talking about it. What if Denny Hamlin had that sitting on the desk, on the dais, whatever the hell he was at?
That's a good point.
Just this big freaking bedazzled chalice.
Hey, Denny, what are you going to do with the chalice? I'm going to here to share my beverage with my 5 fans.
What did you just say? What did you say? Did you just drop an S-bomb?
No,
chalice?
I said chalice.
Oh.
He said, Denny, what are you going to do with your chalice?
Oh,
yeah.
I just dropped an S-bomb.
And then Richie went on to say, I'm going to drink with my 5 fans.
Man, what would yours be?
Mine would be a Bitcoin check for $1 million and a phone number to watch them call and see if they could cash it in while they were on victory.
You and Richie with your money, non-money money.
It is late. We are not that damn creative tonight,
we're
Freak
not.
Nation. Sorry about that.
You could watch him forget all the hat dance. They'd be calling to try to cash that in before the Bitcoin crashed.
Kenny, behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So for the radio audience, you have a stuffed, no, not the leg lamp from A Christmas Story. You have a stuffed Bob Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Ross would be a bitchin' trophy.
Yeah, what if you just bronze
Bob.
If you bronze Bob, or you bronze his lid, right?
Oh,
bronze the natural. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, how about that?
Ooh.
That is bad.
There you go. Just a bronze natural. Just a bronze natural wig that would be on a trophy, and you could give that to people, and they could try it on or whatever. There you go.
What the hell is that? Natural, Stat?
Natural hair.
Natural hair. Yeah, an afro.
Okay, well, then that's my language. Just a fro.
Yeah, a fro. Yeah, with a Bitcoin check in.
Oh my god. I am going to get a call from Mr. Mav TV. I got a wonderful freaking email from our friend John Beck, market president, St. Louis and Indianapolis there at iHeartRadio. Yeah, he said, hey, Kenny, listening to the show tonight. Thank you for the shout out for our station. I'm so sorry to hear about the passing of Sherry Pollux. John Beck, indeed a motorsports fan, knowing who Sherry Pollux is.
Would you like to respond to that email and say, hey, drinks on you when we come to St. Louis for the NHRA? The Nationals?
He can email statmc@speedfreaks.tv. All right.
Salt and smoke, dude. That's the way. That's where you want to go. Salt and smoke.
Now we're talking barbecue or nitro?
No, barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yes. Oh, I know. I was making fun. Yes.
Yeah, I almost had a little problem with a little girl last night that didn't want to have barbecue on her chicken.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was grilling chicken, man. I said, listen, some barbecue on there? She said, nope. I went, well,
She goes, Dad, I want to be plain.
Mm.
Like, oh, whoa.
Wow.
I bet the world turned black and white, just like in that commercial, didn't it?
Bo, it was close. We were with a family where the husband is from St. Louis, so he appreciates barbecue.
We actually had a barbecue conversation, a lengthy one last night too, comparing St. Louis barbecue to Kansas City barbecue to Dallas, Texas barbecue, and Austin even.
But he nailed Texas. In Texas, it's not necessarily the sauce. I mean, it's Texas barbecue. It's about cooking the meat and the texture of that meat. And the only way I could tell a very good barbecue joint was if they ran out of meat, you don't continue to restock it. You just run out. Happened to us in St. Louis a few weeks ago when we were there when they ran out of meat.
The IndyCar weekend,
Yeah, I think I got his last stack of ribs, man.
Like at 7:45. I remember looking at you going, do restaurants always close at this time?
They better.
And you're like, if they're good, they do.
Yeah. Run your butt out of meat.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because if you don't,
there's a Cold Springs Tavern above Santa Barbara. I used to go there on the weekends, and they had a guy to serve tri-tip. And I always managed to get there around 6. They closed at 6. And I get there around 5:45 because whatever was left over, he would give you.
Ooh. You didn't even have to pay for it?
Well, you'd have to pay for it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
One sandwich, but he'd give you the meat for 3, if he had that left over.
All
right, Freak Nation, we got to sign off. Chelsea Denofa, we'll try and get to you next week, my friend. We'll be back next time. Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C. Suave, thank you guys for being a part of this. Again, KTLK in St. Louis, thank you guys for hopping on board. 90-plus stations across the country. And MAV TV, thank you. Shoot the juice to the moose. And Statman,
cut it loose.
See ya.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
They'll have that too.
Even the Octane Booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
The weekend you've been waiting for is back. Are you ready to feel the ground shake? Are you ready for the sound of thunder? Are you ready for an adrenaline-pumping 3-second thrill ride? The NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway. See legendary superstars John Force, Ron Cass, Tim Wilkerson, Robert Hiding, and Tron Brown barreling out for the countdown for the championship. September 29th through October 1st. Go to WWTRaceway.com to get your tickets now.
My second home is my car. I'm always headed to meetings or taking our daughter somewhere, and like you, I travel with valuables. So to keep those items safe, use the Headrest Safe. Go now to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Store cash, medication, cell phones, or firearms out of sight in your Headrest Safe. It's so easy to install the Headrest Safe, and your possessions will stay out of sight. Go to theheadrestsafe.com, use promo code FREAKS for $100 off your order. Theheadrestsafe.com, promo code FREAKS for $100 off.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.